Oh my, it is Trumpian Trainwreck Thursday, and just when you thought the master of pancake base number 18, Donald J. Trump, also known as the 47th President of the United States, couldn't get more disrespectful, in this breaking story, he still manages to even go past the "you've got to be kidding me" level of disrespect. Because here is a guy who continually talks about America first, who continually talks about how proud he is of all of the things that are American, and very commonly the military, and yet this guy is beyond words when it comes to, yeah, everything in the world's important except things about me. They're way more important. And we get to that story in just a second. You won't believe what he freaking just said. It's unreal. But take a look at what he was doing just not so long ago through Jimmy Kimmel's eyes.
I want to update you on our new celebrity president who sat down last night with David Muir for his first official interview since taking office. The president will be happy to know his ratings were very good.
Nobody can do it like me. Nobody. Nobody can do it like me. Honestly.
He almost did as well as The Bachelor. That is true. Donald Trump is not normally a guy who likes to toot his own horn.
Nobody's stronger than me.
Nobody has better toys than I do.
There's nobody bigger or better at the military than I am.
Nobody loves the Bible more than I do.
But last night, I don't know what came over him, but for once, he had a lot of very nice things to say about himself.
Nobody builds walls better than me. Nobody's better to people with disabilities than me. Nobody's fighting for the veterans like I'm fighting for the veterans.
There's nobody that's done so much for equality as I have.
I can be the most presidential person ever. We had the biggest audience in the history of inaugural speeches. The labor leaders that came out, one of them said it was the single greatest meeting I've ever had with anybody. It's the highlight of my life. Here's a picture of the crowd. Now, the audience was the biggest ever. That speech was a home run. It was the biggest standing ovation since Peyton Manning had won the Super Bowl, and they said it was equal. One thing this shows is how far over they go here. Look how far this is. This goes all the way down here, all the way down. They said it was one of the great speeches. They showed the people applauding and screaming. I've had a wonderful life and wonderful success. People loved it. They loved it. They gave me a standing ovation for a long period of time. When you look at this tremendous sea of love, I call it a sea of love. Thank you very much. Thank you, David.
He calls it a sea of love, okay? That's what he calls it.
That entire piece could not be more accurate and more true. And no, just when you think it can't get worse, this is what Donald Trump just did, while on his Middle Eastern tour talking to U.S. troops, not Qatarian troops, U.S. troops in Qatar. Take a listen to this.
A third time. And that was 968 rallies ago. Can you believe that? We did 968 rallies. Another hat says 968. I said, what the hell does that mean? That's the number of rallies. I said, you have to be kidding. But from the very beginning, and we played Lee's song, and it was the walk-on. And then for the last inauguration, I had all the big singers, they wanted to do a song for me, and they wanted to have me walk on to their song, and my people, oh, that would be nice, that would be nice. And when I heard about it, we were all set. We had a lot of them, and I heard about it. I said, I'm not switching. Are you kidding me? I'm not switching. So we stick with Lee, but there's nobody could have done better than Lee, and he's been so loyal and so great, and it's been really about 9 years of that stuff. And, we had honestly, we had 3 unbelievable campaigns, and it's been an honor. And there's nobody been stronger than the military.
Now, some of you sitting out there may actually be veterans. Some of you sitting out there may actually be married to, related to, children of, spouses of veterans. My sister is a veteran. Many people from my hometown in Tennessee are veterans. If you're a veteran sitting in Qatar, potentially in that part of the world, almost at any given moment, having to put your life on the line, not sitting behind some desk somewhere. If you sat there and had to listen to a man ramble on while supposedly addressing you and how terrific it is to have you there protecting America's interests, but then he has to go off on how utterly fabulous he is and how many rallies he's had. I mean, this is literally the kind of pissing contest you would have when you're 14 years old, or 17, or for all of those men who can't manage to ever grow up at all. And yet, this guy is in charge of the nuclear codes. And all he can do is walk around with a metaphorical mirror out in front of him, reminding him how great he thinks he is. And always bear in mind, because I'm a big person, as I remind you in all of my conversations, to stay frosty, stay happy, stay healthy. Please know, at least half of what Donald Trump does that seems way out of line is simply so that you're talking about him and he remains at the top of page one metaphorically in the mainstream media. It's all a show because, boy, does he need to pat himself on the back. You guys hang in there, and I'll see you soon.